What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Three's the Game. Today we have a video that's different from anything else that I've made. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and so we're gonna do it, but it is exploring a what if scenario. And if this does well, I would love to do a couple more. If it doesn't do well, I'm still gonna do a couple more, so deal with it. But today we're exploring, as you can see on the screen, a what if Yao Ming situation. And so what exactly we're exploring here is what if Yao Ming was never severely injured all throughout his career, because as everyone knows, he retired after not long in the league. I think it was 7 or 8 seasons, just because he was constantly getting injured, leg problems, back problems, etc., etc. But I have this league that I simulated for 10 years that we're going to look into and see what changes here as a result of Yao Ming staying healthy. And so I like this game partly because one of the things that it will do is it'll switch up whose potential is great and whose isn't. For example, in this, I've seen Charles Barkley win 3 MVPs. And I've also had years where I've seen Charles Barkley win 0 MVPs and be out of the league after 4 years in it. So you never know what's going to happen. But we started out in the year 2006. So let me show you the roster in 2006. Let's see if this works. It doesn't. Go back. So 2006, the roster consisted of Yao Ming, Rafer Alston, Luther Head, Tracy McGrady, Derek Anderson, etc., etc. I don't know a lot of these other guys. Dikembe Mutombo was still on the team, but in this year they ended up winning 42 games, and Yao Ming averaged 20 points, 11 rebounds, and an assist. Let's see, let's get through everything. This year, the MVP winner was Kobe. No, he wasn't. It was Kobe. Okay, Kobe with LeBron coming in second. 22-year-old LeBron. Kobe averaged 32, 6, and 6. As for Yao Ming, he came 9th in Defensive Player of the Year, and his teammate was 8th in Rookie of the Year voting, Luther Head. I don't know Luther Head, but I'm sure he was great. As you might expect, Chris Paul won Rookie of the Year. James Jones actually won 6th Man of the Year. So shout out to him. Boris Dia, won Most Improved Player. And your Defensive Player of the Year was the one and only Ben Wallace, which is probably pretty realistic as we come to the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, who in real life did not win it in 2006, which is the first big change, won it here. And the team is quite similar to how it was in real life. Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Richard Hamilton, Ben Wallace, and Rasheed Wallace. Never thought of it as a Wallace duo. The Phoenix Suns actually faced them in the playoffs. So this year, if you think about it, ignore that, was when the Heat and the Mavericks actually visited in the finals. Unless this is 05-06, I'm not sure how it works actually. No, 05-06 would be that year, never mind. So yeah, definitely some changes there. But this is first or second year Steve Nash with the Suns, my goodness, or the Phoenix Vultures. I think they changed the names for legal reasons. But it's his second year with Phoenix, and in this universe, he averages 21, 10, and 6, and leads his teams to the championship. So that's quite different. Well, let's go into year 2. I'll skip a couple of years because there's a dadgum lot of years, and I don't want to go through every one. We'll probably get through the first few. Let's see. Let me get to my team. What is happening? Standings, roster. Here we go. 2007. Yao Ming and Houston won only 25 games. Still had Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. They both had some decression in their talents, you can see. No longer as good as they were the first year. And their second year player, wow, 25, he came in as a rookie at 24, that's crazy. It's actually the second best player on the team this year, so that's something. But Yao Ming averaged 18 and 11 this year, really 18 and 12, and led the team in PER. So he's still a beneficial player, but he does start to digress pretty soon. I should warn you now. And in this year, LeBron wins an MVP, which I don't believe he won it this early in real life. So that's unique. This is the year in real life, actually, that Dirk won his MVP. It's another major change. Dirk ended third this year, Kobe second. LeBron averaged 27, 10, and 8. Dirk averaged 25, 10, and 4. Gilbert Arenas, 31, 9, and 4. Kobe, 36, and 5 again. Ben Wallace won another MVP, or Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron came top 5 that year in this. And then our Ronaldo Balkman won the Rookie of the Year. I can promise you, Ronaldo Balkman did not win Rookie of the Year in real life. It was probably either Rondo or LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't know which one between those two. Comment down below if you remember. But Jermaine Jones won 6th Man of the Year, and then Monta Ellis actually won Most Improved Player. So shout out to him. As for the playoffs, let's check it out. 2007, we had Seattle win it, who had Rashard Lewis, Luke Ridnour, Damian Wilkins, Ray Allen, and Vladimir Radmanovic as their starters. So Ray Allen in this universe won an MVP in 2000, or won a championship in 2007. I wonder if he won the Finals MVP. Let's see. Let's click on it real quick. This will spoil his career. I'm sorry. He did not win the Finals MVP, but he was a one-time champion. So shout out to Ray Allen and the change in his career. So yeah, that was this year. Let's go on to the next year. 2000. We'll skip a year actually. We'll see who won the championship this year. And who won? Oh my gosh. It's going to kill me. 2008, Chicago won the championship with Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, Kirk Hinrich, Paul Millsap, and Drew Gooden. For some reason, Luol Deng was amazing in this. Averaged 18 and 8. And Ben Gordon averaged almost 20 points, 4 and 3, which is definitely not what he did in real life. So shout out those guys. Their careers improved in this. Finals MVPs, or I guess championships. But when you go to the year 2008, LeBron won his second straight MVP. Good for him. Averaging 27, 9, and 7. Kobe averaged 30, 6, and 6 again. Joe Johnson actually came third in MVP voting, averaging almost 20, 10, and 5. Trevor Ariza won Defensive Player of the Year. Kevin Durant won Rookie of the Year, as you might expect, 24, 6, and 2. Good for him. And Chris Duhon won 6th Man of the Year. Good for him. And then Yaroslav Korolev won Most Improved Player. One of my favorite things about this, you'll have a guy like Yaroslav Korolev, who I know very little about, become a great player. He's a 64 overall. We've got Allen Iverson in the MVP vote, I guess, a 64 overall. So you never know what Yaroslav might do in the future here. It's not foreshadowing. I genuinely don't know what he does in the future. But let's go into the next year. Let's check out the playoffs here. 2009, New Orleans wins the championship, actually. Excuse me, sorry. It's cold outside. I've been sick for a couple days. But they actually won 70 games. If I remember correctly, this team is broken. Yeah. So this is where things start to get a little ridiculous, and the simulation becomes a little repetitive. They have Chris Paul. I have no idea how they got him. Dwight Howard, they signed in free agency in 2008. They signed Carmelo Anthony in 2007. They drafted Kevin Durant in 2007. They also, their other starter they drafted that same year, but the rest of the team doesn't really matter, although it is, they do have a solid 7-man roster, but these 4 right here are an absolute joke. Imagine Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, and Kevin Durant all teaming up, the oldest of them being 25. I'm sorry, that team, I don't know who's beating that team, and as you might guess, the playoffs start to become a little repetitive because of that. Let's check out our roster and see how Yao's doing in his older age. 2009, Yao Ming's now 29. He's starting to get up there. He's continued to digress, and Tracy McGrady is too. Greg Oden, who they got, is now the second best player on the team, rather than Yao Ming. But Yao Ming this year averaged 16 and 9. Tracy McGrady averaged 17 and 5 and 4. Let's pop to the next year, actually. Let's pop through this. Houston won 29 games this year. Let's see, we'll probably just pop through Houston until they make the playoffs, which we'll see when that happens. But this year, Tracy McGrady was the best player on the team. Greg Oden was the second best player. Greg Oden averaged 15 and 10. Shout out to him. T-Mac averaged 18, 6 and 6. Yao Ming became the sixth man coming off the bench for this team, averaging 11 and 6 for them this year. Good for him. Yippee. 2011. Sorry, kind of sarcastic. I'm running through this for y'all. 2011, the team looks completely different. They got rid of Greg Oden and they got rid of Tracy McGrady. So their starting five consists of Josh Boone, Andre Bargnani, I have no idea who that is, Alonzo G, Johnny Flynn, and Landry Fields. At this point, Yao Ming shouldn't really even be playing as a 46, but the team's pretty trash, so you got time. Ooh, shout out Jamar Crawford and Adonis Haslam. But Yao this year averaged 9 and 5. It's the beginning of the end. Then next year, this is not, oh, I clicked the wrong button. 2012, they had an amazing draft. They drafted Kawhi Leonard, the second overall pick, and then Derrick Rose signed there as well. But as you can see, Yao Ming actually left. So Yao Ming's career with this team ends, and Yao actually went to, click the wrong way, I believe it was the Memphis Grizzlies. I looked through this a little bit so that I know it's actually happening, so I can talk about it in a little more detail beforehand. But let's see, is it Memphis? Yeah, I went to Memphis. He's 32. He is really low on their depth roster, as you saw before I accidentally clicked too far past. He got this year 6 minutes a night, averaging 2 and 2. So up to this point, his career is literally the exact same, whether or not he stayed in the league or got injured. But as you can see, in 2013, he once again moved teams. I honestly don't remember where he went. Let's check it out. Let's see, where do we go for this? Watch list, here we go. I'll look at that for a bit. So he actually retires after 2015, so that's when it ends. But 2013, let's see, he was in Philadelphia. What did he average there? He played 47 games, averaged 3 minutes a night, and he had 1.5 points and 1 rebounds in the games he played. And the next year, he goes back to Houston, as you can see, and he averaged 1.5 points and 1.5 rebounds again. So his career is I feel like it's pretty similar to how it actually went. He got an extra 3 years, which is awesome. But real quick, I want to go through the playoffs and see what changes in this universe. Whether or not it's impacted by Yao Ming, it's still fun to see, I think. So here we have New Orleans win a all-time record 74 games. They sweep in the finals. They lose 1 game in the entire playoffs. As a reminder, this is a team with Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard. It's pretty freaking amazing. Just keeps on winning. 2011, it is the same thing. This year, the only difference is the Pelicans lost 2 games in the playoffs. Once again, it's a team consisting of Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony. They are dominating the league. That's a 3-peat now. In 2012, they lose in the finals. The team only won 60 games. Let's see if it's the same roster or not. Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul. It is. What happens is they start digressing. their overalls do. But the team they lose to consists of Luol Deng, who's getting his second championship here, Jared Bayless, Paul Millsap, Chris Duhon, Anthony Rudolph. Anyone interesting on the bench? No one I could think of. Ben Gordon actually is still there. Shout out him. So he gets his championship there. 2013 is completely different, as we have Detroit playing Memphis in the finals. Detroit makes it back, with DeMar DeRozan leading the way, along with Xavier Henry, Ersan Ilyasova, Austin Day, and Dwayne Wade. 31-year-old Dwayne Wade gets a second chip. Or his first chip, I guess, in this universe. Because the Heat never made it, apparently. I actually don't remember if he went to the Heat or not, but shout out to him. Wins another championship in 2013. And in this year, Houston actually won it. The team that we're simulating as. And it's kind of crazy, y'all. Because before the season started, Yao Ming was a free agent. And so we actually signed him. I was like, who knows, maybe a team with Derrick Henry and Kawhi Leonard has a chance to win a championship. And they freaking did it. I did not expect it. I thought it was a shot in the dark. As you can see, they ended the season 50-32. They were a 4 seed. But they beat New Orleans, they beat Denver, and they beat this Philly team in the finals, who is not great outside of Drew Holiday, who is a 78, which means he's a top 5 player in the league in this universe, which is crazy. Who also has Chris Middleton? Shout out to him. They're back together. Kind of cool. Insanity as well. I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I believe that's the final year of the simulation. Real quick, we'll go over the award races, see who won awards here, and then I want to pop up and see who's considered the GOAT during this 9-year span. We'll go back because that's easier. In 2014, the MVP was freaking Ben Gordon, averaging 28 points and 9 assists a game. I promise you he never did that in real life. But shout out him. Zaza Pachulia actually wins Defensive Player of the Year, comes second in MVP. Spoiler, we're going to see him a lot in MVP talks. Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, both in MVP and Defensive Player of the Year conversations. They're pretty freaking elite in this. The matchup there, Giannis wins Rookie of the Year. He averages 11, 6, and 2. And then we have Martell Webster wins Sixth Man of the Year. Good for you. Congrats, man. No idea who you are, but that's good. Then Alec Burks wins Most Improved Player, averaging 18, 6, and 3. In 2013, we have Eric Gordon win a second MVP. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I could not explain why he is doing incredible, but he averages 27, 8.5, 4.5 this year. LeBron comes second. I don't know why. Oh, his team had a losing record. That makes sense. But his numbers are a joke. LeBron averaged 26, 9, and 9. Third place, we have Derrick Rose, who's on my team, so I'll shout him out. Who averaged 38 and 5. He averaged the exact same numbers as Eric Gordon. His team won one more game. He's the same age. Their PER was 0.1 away from each other. And for some reason, Eric Gordon won the MVP. Make it make sense? Some years it just doesn't. I guess it's kind of a coin toss. But either way, it's kind of stupid because Derrick Rose winning an MVP in 2013 would be really cool. Oh, also something that never happened. Derrick Rose was never injured. I never thought of that while doing it. That's kind of cool. But Defensive Player of the Year was Zaza Pachulia again. He is a cheat code for some reason. Dame wins Rookie of the Year, 18, 10, and 3. Paul Pierce, sixth man. He's 36. He's an old man, 11, 5, and 5. Brandon Jennings wins Most Improved, 22, 10, and 4. Pretty elite numbers there. 2012, LeBron James wins MVP. I think this is his third or fourth in this simulation. He averages 29, 9, and 7.5. Zaza Pachulia, 3-peats on the Defensive Player of the Year. Good for you. Great. Cool. Oops. That was not supposed to happen. And then Ed Davis averages 9, 8, and almost 1 assist. Congrats. Kyrie averages 13, 9, and 3 as a rookie on the Warriors. Oh, that's cool. Kyrie wants the Warriors in this. And then Maurice Spites, most improved, 15 and 5. What a year. 2011, I believe this is the last year we haven't looked at. Zaza Pachulia wins MVP at 27. He averages a 27, 17, and 4 with a PER of 34.8, which I believe is the highest we see in this. Lil Deng second, Kevin Durant third. We live in a universe where Lil Deng and Zaza Pachulia competed for an MVP. John Wall, Rookie of the Year, averaging 11, 7.5, 3. Drew Gooden averaged 8, 6, and 1. And then a Dante Green, as most improved, averaged 15, 5, and 2. Congrats. I don't know if we looked at this year. We'll see. If it's LeBron, we already saw it. But I don't know if I mentioned Chris Paul winning MVP, averaging 20 and 12, which is not something he did in real life. So shout out him. I don't know if he ever averaged 12 assists either while we're at it. This year, Kevin Durant won Defensive Player of the Year. Reminder, they're on the same team. I don't know how many MVPs these guys might have won if they're on different teams. But this was their best year where they averaged 74 and 8. But this year they had the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year, both on their team. So New Orleans was pretty legit this year. Tyreek Evans beat Steph Curry, James Harden, out for the Rookie of the Year, averaging 19, 8, and 5, which I promise you Tyreek Evans did not do in real life. Al Horford won its 6th Man of the Year in 2010 in this universe, averaging 8, 7, and 2.5. Man, it's kind of crazy because he's doing that 15 years later than this now. Kind of funny. But Sebastian Telfair with the most improved player, averaging 13 and 8. We'll go to 2009. I've definitely seen every year before 2009. No, I haven't. Zaza Pachulia wins another MVP. What the freak is going on in this universe? He sweeps MVP and DPOY this year, with Chris Paul coming second and third in those respective polls. LeBron coming second in MVP. Dwight Howard coming third in DPOY. Dang, that's crazy. I just realized the New Orleans this season had 3rd place in MVP, 5th place in MVP, and then 2nd place in DPOY, 3rd place, and 5th place. This team was an absolute joke. The simulation was thrown off a lot by them. But Zaza Pachulia also won Most Improved Player this year, so shout out to him. MVP, DPOY, and MIP all the same season. I don't know if we have much more to look at here. Yeah, we already saw LeBron win MVP here. Trevor Ariza, DPOY, Kevin Durant, Rookie of the Year, Chris Duhon, 6th Man, and Yaroslav Karlev, MIP. But there is a little thing you can see here that ranks by their definition whoever was the GOAT in the simulation. So I'm curious. There's a way to set what years we want to see. So as you can see, LeBron is 5th, Derrick Gordon is 9th, Zaza Pachulia there. But let's see players drafted after. We'll go 1996. Should be pretty much everyone that was in this simulations. When you look at that, the leaders of this simulation: LeBron James, Eric Gordon, Tim Duncan, Zaza, Chris Paul, Allen Iverson, Kobe, Steve Nash, Derrick Rose. Let's check out, I guess Dame has the same GOAT score, kind of crazy because he joined the league in 2012. Let's see what they did during those years. A quick rundown of each of them. Dame, Rookie of the Year, All-Star, Assist Leader, 18, 3, and 11. I have no idea why he is ranked so high on that list after 2 years, but he is, so shout out to him. Must be something I'm missing. It's not taking me back to the main page. Let's see if it does. Nope. That's great. Let's go back to frivolities then, I guess. It's brought me to the award race for some reason. Frivolities. Let's see, let's check this out. But as you saw in the simulation, LeBron came out as the GOAT I don't think he has any championships, actually. I need to figure out how to mess with the GOAT discussion in this game, because I clearly think championships are a lot more important than it does. But let's see. Shout out Dame. Don't know why he's so high. Derrick Rose. He was a champion, Finals MVP, scoring later, slam dunk contest. 5-time All-Star. Good for him. He averaged 25, 8, and 5. This is him without any injuries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year injury-free career. He did actually have a few injuries, but none of them destroyed his career like injuries did in real life. Taking one of the greatest players for some time. This is going to make me do it the hard way every time. So we're just going to look at the top 3 guys, actually. Sorry. Let's see who else is in the GOAT discussion. Oh, I just realized something crazy that this did, actually. We're definitely going to have to tinker with this in the future. But we'll respect it for now. Kevin Durant is not up here. Kevin Durant, I'm going to click on him. I'm going to run everything, I'm sorry. In this simulation, a 3-time champion, 1-time Finals MVP. He's a Defensive Player of the Year, 6-time All-League, meaning All-NBA, 7-time All-Defense, an All-Star MVP, 7-time All-Star, 2-time scoring leader, a blocks leader who averaged 27 and 6 and 3 for his career, 50, 36, and 95 with 102 win shares, and they don't count him as one of the 10 best players in this, which is outrageous because he was great in this. Finals MVP. He didn't get the MVP in real life, but he has a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it's pretty straightforward. He's Chris Paul's Robin to his Batman. Chris Paul, actually, while we're on his topic, let's look at him real quick. And then we'll pop in, I guess, everyone above him, because those 4 are kind of cool. He's an MVP winner. He's a 3-time champ, 2-time Finals MVP winner, a Rookie of the Year, 7 times All-NBA, 5 times All-Defense, 4-time assist leader, 3-time steal leader, averaging 17, 11, and 5. 1-time All-Star MVP as well. Pretty elite career for him. Shout out to him. Thus far, obviously, because it's 2015. It's crazy. A lot of these guys have another decade to play. Zaza Pachulia, the surprise of this, was a 2-time MVP, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Defense, 7-time All-Star, scoring leader and a rebounding leader. No championships, unfortunately. And as you can see, we ended this right before he started digressing. So he was just the right place at the right time, averaging 17, 10, and 3. So I guess 17, 10, and 3 makes you one of the GOATs of this era, although right above him is Tim Duncan, who probably averaged about the same, so I guess that's fair. No. Tim Duncan averaged 25, 13, and 4 on this. My bad. I did not mean to disrespect you. 2-time MVP, 3-time champ, 3-time MVP rookie, 9-time All-League, 10-time All-Defensive, All-Rookie, All-Star MVP, 9-time All-Star. Those are pretty elite, no matter where you are. However, if I'm not mistaken, ironically, he already had 2 MVPs, 3 championships, 3 MVP, Finals MVPs, even before the simulation started. So he just gets a cheat because he was born, or excuse me, not born, he was drafted after 1996. Oh dear, I clicked the wrong thing. Shout out to Shaq. I guess he's the wealthiest player in this universe. Good for you. Let's get back to the good old Good Lab. And check out the top 2. Eric Gordon and LeBron James. Let's see who got the championships here. They don't. I'm giving it to Chris Paul, 3-time champion. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so Eric Gordon is a 2-time MVP. He is a 1-time Finals MVP. 6-time All-NBA. All-Defensive, All-Rookie, a 6 times All-Star, and he has 2 slam dunk contests through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. 6-time All-NBA through 7 years. He does digress this year, though, but I 27. It sounds like he is basically Luka Doncic in this universe. Wow, that card flew by, y'all. You have no idea, sorry. But he averaged 23, 7, and 4. Those are not Luka numbers. So I guess he's not Luka, sadly. He was drafted 10 years before Luka. Let's see if we can get back to the GOAT lab here. It finally worked. Let's go. And we can check out LeBron. Is he the GOAT of this era? Let's check it out. If he has one championship, we're giving it to him. He's not. Dang. So obviously in real life, he ended up playing another decade. I doubt he'd play another decade in the simulation. A lot of people are realistic with when they retire. And he's already digressing at 31. They made it realistic, I guess. More realistic. It's kind of crazy that video games are more realistic than real life when it comes to LeBron James. Truly one of the legends of this game. But for his career in this, he averaged 26, 8, and 8, which is a little higher point-wise than it actually, or rebound and assist-wise than it actually is in real life, which is interesting. A 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 10-time All-NBA through 10 years, yep. 5 All-Defensive Teams, an All-Rookie, a 3-time All-Star MVP, 10-time All-Star Slam Dunk Contest scoring leader. And if I had to say in my opinion, he probably had the third best simulation career behind, I would say, Eric Gordon and Chris Paul. But anyone that has watched this video today, let me know if you enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. But this was a simulation of, it was supposed to be of what if Yao Ming never retired early because of injuries. And it kind of turned into a 10-year resimulation from 2004 to 2015. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And comment down below what y'all think I should change to make this better for the future. That's all for today. And you just watched Three's the Game. After a little bit of tinkering, I'm going to add this to the end of the video, by the way. I figured out a better system to rate the MVP of the league over the past decade, or I guess the best player over the past decade that we simulated. So here's a quick rundown. First is still LeBron, which I feel is fair. They have Chris Paul actually as the second best player during this time period. Zaza Pachulia is the third still. Derrick Gordon the fourth. Kevin Durant the fifth. Luol Deng the sixth. Derrick Rose the seventh. Dwight Howard eighth. Andre Kirilenko actually makes ninth, and Dirk is the 10th best player during this simulation. I figured out how to get Tim Duncan out of it. Sorry, Tim. I feel like he's too old. But they actually still consider him better than LeBron in the simulation, which is kind of funny. As for career stats for these guys, let's pop through it real quick. Also, the way I did it this time dropped Damian Lillard a lot. I feel like it was more fair. Brief rundown. Distracted, I know. MVPs are worth the most points, makes it worth 20. What I did is I made finals MVPs and championships combined worth a lot more points. I made defensive player of years worth points. And then anyone that made a first time all league got 3 points for it. Second time, 2. Third one, 3. Or, excuse me, they got 3 times as many for first team. Second time as many for second team. Twice as many as they did second team. Let me explain this. I'm butchering this. If you made it all league, you got 3 points towards this. If you made second team, you got 2. If you made third team, you got 1. And I did the same thing for all defensive. Fortunately, these blokes got nothing for being all-stars, because that can be a popularity decision half the time. Now that I think about it, the simulation wouldn't have made it a popularity contest, but we went with it, so roll with it. But as for points, LeBron, 26, 8, and 8 for his career. Let's pop through these. Chris Paul at 17, 11, and 5. Zaza Pachulia was a solid 17, 10, and 3. Eric Gordon averaged 23, 7, and 4. Kevin Durant, 27, 6, and 3. Luol Deng, 19, 8 and a half, 1 and a half. Derrick Rose averaged 23, 8, and 5. A lot better than his actual career, 24, 8, and 5. Oops. Dwight Howard, 16, 11, and 2. Then we have Andre Kirilenko What a name. Tongue twister there. 14, 6 and 6. And Dirk rounded out the top 10 with a solid 29 and 2.5. But what if Yao Ming's career wasn't uprooted by injuries? Supposedly, this is what would happen. According to NBA basketball GM, NBA is not in the name. That's, oh my gosh, excuse me. Too bad. But anyone that watched this, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I would love to do this in the future. I just need people to support me so that it's worth the time and the effort. But that's all for today. Have a great night, y'all.